Welcome to Spotlight TV. I'm your host, Emily Zubi. And 50 Shades of Pink is a tradition of Miami Woman in Rock, and it's all about breast cancer awareness. We've been around 15 years, but 50 Shades of Pink has been around 10. And this November 8th, we're so happy to partner with a beautiful charity that's making a difference in survivors' lives when they need it the most. You're going to hear an incredible story of inspiration, strength, and one that inspires us. And I am so proud to welcome to Spotlight TV our charity partner for our 2024 50 Shades of Pink Rockstar Awards, Rosemary Carrera, founder and executive director of the 305 Pink Pack. Welcome to Spotlight. I'm so excited to have you here.
Thank you for having me. This is wonderful.
This is such a special event for us. I mean, and I tell you, we were talking a little bit before going on air, how it's a, passion. It's, those projects that take our heart and purpose and really we give it all. I know you do. And I see how many hours you work and what you've done. And, I almost, it gets me emotional because I know, I feel like even though we haven't met before in person, that, you wear your heart on your sleeve and you give it your all. So this is all about you and for you to share your experience and your inspiration for starting this incredible charity.
Thank you. It's definitely a labor of love. Anytime you do anything in the nonprofit world, you really have to have your heart and soul into it. And 305 Pink Pack is just that for us. It started back when I was diagnosed with breast cancer. I was 40 years old. It was my very first mammogram. I had never had any history, any issues. It was not on my radar. And when I got the call, I was already considered a stage 2. And this is with a 8-month-old in tow. So I had just returned to work after maternity leave. And it was really not anything that we had anticipated or expected. But I have to be very grateful to my family and my friends because they really came together in full force and took over our lives so that we could really focus on my treatment, getting better. And, we went through this process that we thought would be quick because when we started, we thought, okay, maybe it's just a double mastectomy. And then thinking it's never just a double mastectomy, but in perspective, it just becomes, one thing after another. So we started with a double mastectomy, and then it turns out that my cancer had a high risk of returning, and so we decided to do preemptive chemo to try to reduce that risk. I also had a hysterectomy to further reduce the risk, and 28 rounds of radiation. So it was back to back to back to back, a year almost of treatment, and then reconstruction finally. And unfortunately, I didn't do well with the implants. So after a year of having the implants in, I had them removed and had my deconstruction day, and now I'm flat. So on top of everything else, you think that it's just going to be 6 months or a year of an experience, but it goes on and on. And at this point, I am now, 5 years out from when I started treatment, still on medication, and I'll probably be on that for quite some time, but am so grateful to all the help that we had. I really don't know how we would have done it otherwise because I couldn't work. I couldn't clean up around the house. I couldn't take care of my daughter. And so had it not been for my parents, my in-laws, my grandmother, my sister, everybody took part in my treatment. It wasn't just me.
It's beautiful, beautiful. And talk about a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
I admire your strength and the fact that you took this time of your life to then turn it into your purpose and how to give back. So at what point did you say, I came up with 305 Pink Pack?
It was actually pretty early on. My very first chemo session, my sister's friend Suzette, who I had never met before, shows up bald because she was going through chemo herself. And she gives me a bag full of things that would be helpful for treatment. And she went through each and every one. She said, do this to prevent this, do this to prevent this, you're going to need this. And had she not taken that moment to just sit and talk to me about that, I don't know really how that experience would have been for me. So having that pack of items inspired the program. So we decided to call it 305 Pink Pack, 305 because it's Miami, and 786 just doesn't sound as cute. Pink, because it started because of breast cancer, which is what I had, and PAC, so that we can be that PAC that really supports you during a really hard time. If you look at our logo, all the colors around our circle
Beautiful.
represent all the cancers that women can have. So although we started because of breast cancer, and the majority of women that we assist have breast cancer, we work with women with all types of cancer.
And in terms of the mission,
Mm-hmm.
so was that something that the day that your friend Suzette
Mm-hmm.
showed up, that you said, wow, everyone needs a Suzette.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly. Everyone needs a Suzette. My sister's Natalie, and everyone needs a Natalie in their lives. She came through and was doing schedules for medication, setting alarms on my phone for when I needed to take things, coordinating everybody to pick up our daughter, to bring over meals, to come over and help with laundry. Had it not been for her coordinating our entire team and keeping track of all of my appointments, I don't know what we would have done, because at that point I had to stop working and my husband was the sole breadwinner, and how are we going to get through this otherwise? And so we figured everyone needs this in their life and their support, because you have no idea what it takes to get through cancer treatment until you're in the middle of it. And when you get to that point where something starts to really become a struggle, something as simple as, how are you going to get your kids to school when you have to be at radiation at the same time? How do you fix that? If you can't call someone to do that favor for you, or if you don't have someone to do that, then how do you get through that moment? And so we figured, well, there has to be something that like this in our area that can help provide these services, all these logistical challenges that become a nightmare when you're going through treatment. And we really couldn't find any. And so that's how we really came together and created the PAC. And it was a group of women with all types of different cancers who came together and said, okay, these are the things that I would have struggled with had I not had family or support or financial resources to address them. Let's see if we can figure this out and create a program that will provide these services. And that's what we did.
I love it. I love it.
Huh.
I get so much strength, and I mean, I've had some health challenges, and I will tell you that the pink warriors in my life have always inspired me to embrace life no matter what, and everything happens for a reason, and how to turn lemons into lemonade. And so you're helping all these women. Talk about the process. So, for example, do you do the community outreach? Do they get referred to you? How does someone become part of the PAC?
Yeah, it's a little bit of both. We have a really wonderful relationship with the treatment centers in Miami, and the social work teams and the nurse navigators do such an incredible job of really identifying those women who need that type of support. And so they'll make the primary referral to us, or patients in the waiting room see our bag and they ask somebody else, hey, what's that? And then our members are a great resource as well for other patients. So when they call in, we'll set them up with an interview, we'll get to know them and see really what their needs are, and then develop their program from there. So it's really customized to each woman who comes through. And then as she's going through treatment, we know that those needs are going to change. So she may not ask for transportation right off the bat, but a couple weeks into it, we're making that phone call and saying, hey, how's everything going? Do you need a ride to this? Do you need a ride to that? Oh my gosh, yes, I could totally use that. And so then we add services or change their services as they go through their treatment, because we've already anticipated what those needs are. They may not know, but we're ready to help when they do.
Just amazing. What are all the other services? Because I know that, there's a lot more than, you mentioned a lot, but what can you go through the services that you provide for some of these cases?
Of course. We offer transportation for appointments and also for our support services. So anytime that we have a member event where we get together, whether it's for a dance class or another activity, we offer transportation for those as well. We offer childcare, and that can be in the form of babysitting, transportation to school, or even daycare services. We offer help with groceries, housekeeping services, self-care, which this year we were able to give oncology massages and wigs. And then we also help these women with applying to financial aid programs. There's a lot of programs out there that will help you pay your rent, your utilities, your car as you're going through treatment. But when you're going through it, your brain does not function normally. And so reading the simplest instructions can prove to be a huge challenge. And so what we'll do is that we'll help them complete those applications for them. And just in doing that alone, we've secured over $135,000 for our members to help pay for these expenses, which when you're living paycheck to paycheck or you don't have savings that can really help you out through a time like this, you need that extra help. And how are you going to know about it unless you talk to us?
Wow, beautiful. There is some truth to that whole brain fog that one experiences going through chemo, and even the ride home after can be, some women get sick. I've heard all kinds of stories. To know that you have a loving person next to you that makes sure that you get home safely and with care, and that you get tucked in, whatever the case is, but that that's the most beautiful gift of all. So I love what you're doing. I love the fact that they're going to be a charity partner. Talk about what it takes to support, say, one woman going through, for example, providing some of those services so people can get an idea of what the costs are involved.
Yeah. So the average cost of having a woman in our program during her treatment is $1,700. And that really gives her access to transportation, childcare, grocery support. And we try to get as much of this assistance as possible through different foundations, donations, and corporate sponsorships. We'd love to offer services to more women, but obviously our what ultimately holds us back is just funding. So the more funding that we're able to secure, the more women we're able to help. And unfortunately, every year we have to turn people away. We try to help them as much as possible by guiding them to different resources and giving them as much information as we can. But our direct services do fill up.
That's it. So that we need your support. We have our big event coming up November 8th.
Yes.
50 Shades of Pink. And we have an exciting, every year our honorees are just out of this world. We have our Latina of the Year, Jackie Nesbrawl. We have Gertie Abrera, one of the Miami housewives who she's just such an inspiration. She's turned her story into, Gertified cancer. And I mean, she's a rock star.
She's amazing.
We have our Woman of the Year, Maria Maloof. So you see all the names. And if you'd like to be a sponsor or be a partner, you can connect with us on Instagram, Miami Woman Who Rock. If you'd like to just get a table, table of 10 is $2,500. And we have the event. It's a 300-person event. And our theme this year is La Dolce Vita.
Exciting.
So we're really excited to transform, the JW Marriott into a bit of Italy. Last year it was Paris. And we had Emily in Paris Cafe. This year we're going to have La Fashionista Cafe and work with Yaz Gonzalez to have a Italian-inspired fashion presentation. So it's going to be, we have an event experience. And, at the core of it all is, this incredible organization. And we change organizations every year, but we're so happy to partner together. And we shared this morning your YouTube channel where you have your upcoming event as well. And this is pink season, folks. Yes. Like September, really, and it's not just about October being breast cancer awareness, because I like to say that this is a disease that does not take a break. I've had way too many women, relatives, family, some survived, some battled other cancers. Yeah. My mother had 5 types of cancer.
Oh my gosh.
And breast cancer was her first one. But so, cancer doesn't take a break. It's, we at Miami Women Who Rock believe in a world without cancer. And, this is a 365-day job, battling it. And you're proof of that. So let's switch gears and talk a little bit about your Go Pink for PAC, which it looks like a fun event.
It is.
You have it coming up this Sunday. Mm-hmm. And why don't you share a little bit about that event?
Yeah, so Go Pink for the Pack is our big campaign for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. It's a time of year where everyone's already programmed to give a little bit. They understand the importance of giving to breast cancer. And so what we're doing is that we're focusing their efforts on a local program like ours. And so with this campaign, we really raise the funds that help determine how many women we can help next year. Last year, we set our sights on $75,000 and we raised $82,000 between September and October. I know, it's crazy.
That is wonderful.
I know. And so this year, we've set the goal at $100,000. And so this event really kicks off our efforts. If you've ever been to any of our events, you know that we are about celebrating and having fun and really bringing joy to these women's lives. So this event really is fun for the whole family. There's games for kids. We have an amazing DJ, Tony Munette, who is incredible. We've got wonderful food at Tank Brewery. We've got a small business market. And it's really just about inspiring the community to come together to help us with our fundraising efforts. So at this event, you'll be able to sign up to host a fundraiser at your school or at your business where you can collect items for our care packages. The possibilities are endless. But this is our kickoff to really springboard and make this year a total success.
Wonderful. Okay, so if you want to join, we're showing the details now, the invitation. It's this Sunday. So why don't you share the best place to get a link? Is it Instagram? Where should they join you to buy a ticket?
Yes, you can go straight to our website. It's www.305pinkpack.org or our Instagram at 305pinkpack. And you can get your ticket. They're only $15. It includes a beverage and a really good time. And the kids are free.
Wonderful, wonderful. So you have that information. You definitely want to be there on Sunday and help support and join this cause. I love that video. I mean, well, you know me. I'm anywhere there's dancing. No. I'm a dancing queen.
Same.
I really love it, and you have such a joy for life. You know, I love your positivity and the fact that you've gone through all this and that you've turned it around and are just making a difference. Tell me some of the, I know you can't tell us individuals, but what are some of the case scenarios that you've dealt with that you would say, wow, you know, we made such a difference in a woman's life because XYZ?
You know, there are so many incredible stories. And when I look at my own experience, I was like, yeah, it was tough. But what these women experience is extremely challenging. And if we can just help one little bit, that's what we're hopeful for. We've had members where, you know, they have 3 kids, 1 family car, both parents working. If mom has to get to treatment, how do the kids get to school? And so we've been able to assist with that. One of our very first members, who's absolutely amazing woman, she lives down in Florida City. She has her treatments at Sylvester in downtown. She has an autistic son that she cares for as a single mom. And so for her, she doesn't have a car. So taking the bus into her to get her treatment is a 3-hour commute. So she has to take a 3-hour commute to sit in a chemo chair for 6 hours to then take another 3-hour commute back home to be with her son. That just doesn't seem right. And so with us, we've been able to help her with transportation so that she can get to and from treatment as quickly as possible and be with her son when he gets home from school. It's little things like that that we don't even realize that people struggle with, that they don't have to. You know, we're here to help that.
I mean, in a world, and I'm going to say this because I've been thinking about this, but in a world right now where so many people are more concerned with tearing people down instead of lifting them up, you know, you got to take a page out of this book. Yeah. I mean, this is what it's really about. I've always said for years, is it a lump in my breast or a lump in my oatmeal? And, you know, to be able to know, don't sweat the small stuff. Yeah. And be able to take a look and just see, like, you know, my mother used to say, don't drown in a glass of milk. I don't know why I mean, you know, I don't know why she would say that, but, you know, that was like one of her sayings. But, you know, it's so true to know in life, you know, that you know, sometimes you see people fighting over some of the silliest stuff, you know, and then you hear about a woman like this who doesn't have a car, you know, having treatment. Like, that's real life stuff. Yeah, that is the kind of challenge in life where you've got to buckle up and, you know, have your faith and gather your troop. And and your pink pack.
Exactly.
So it's absolutely beautiful what you're doing, and you know I can't say that enough because I'm just in love with your mission. If you were to tell me with that beautiful smile of yours, what advice would you give to your younger self? What would that be?
Oh my goodness. I think it would be don't fight what the universe is trying to tell you. I think before my cancer diagnosis, I was in a very different place. I had my own business. I was on a different path. And when this hit, it was God telling me that I was needed somewhere else. My mission changed. My vision changed. My life completely changed. And it was something that I couldn't fight it. This is where I needed to be. This is the path I'm going to take. And where I am now is exactly where I was meant to be. It took a little while to get here, but here I am, and making a difference, paying it forward. Any little joy or relief that we can bring to somebody else just by lending a hand. If that's what we can do, then that's what we're here to do.
It's a life of service,
Mm-hmm.
right? And being able to make a difference in someone else's life. I always say, you know, when life happens, and life will happen, the tsunami of stuff, you know, it comes in ebbs and waves, and we always have three choices. We can give in, we can give up, or we can give it all we've got. And you, Rosemary, are giving it all you've got every single day, and you know, making a difference in these women's lives. And you know, there's so many breast cancer charities, and I love them all. You know, I mean, I've worked with so many. I sit on the board of, you know, Pink Luminous. I, you know, have been with the Breast Heart and Health Initiative. Mm-hmm. You know, Andrea Ivory.
Yeah, they're all amazing. Andrea's amazing.
Andrea's, yeah. I mean, they're all, but the stories that you hear, you know, Wendy Unger, Bosom Buddies, yes. You know, and we like working with small organizations that have grassroots because we feel like they need it the most. Mm-hmm. And, you know, being able to spread that word. And like you said, you know, 1,800 or 70, whatever, that number, 1,700 mm-hmm. to take, you know, to make a difference in one individual's life at the time when they need it most. When you think about that, I mean, you know, I bet you Starbucks for the year. I can't. I mean, there are so many ways that we spend money on other things that, you know, you break it down and you just say, wow, you know, it's not that much to underwrite, you know, adopt a woman for her treatment and to go through those things. So I want to give you a chance to give your commercial and, you know, the ways that they can reach you, learn more about your mission. So if you could share your YouTube and social and the ways, you know, again, share your website and the way people can reach out. Again, we're speaking to Rosemary Carrera, founder and executive director of the 305 Pink Pack, and our charity partner for 50 Shades of Pink Rockstar Awards on November 8th. So take it away.
Yes, so you can always reach 305 Pink Pack on our website, which is www.305pinkpack.org. And on social media, we keep it easy. We're at 305 Pink Pack on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube as well. Or you can just call us. It's 305-859-1224. And we are here to help.
Wonderful, wonderful. And we hope to see you Sunday.
Yes.
And definitely see you November 8th and join efforts with us. What do you think is on the horizon when you look at 5 years from now? Mm-hmm. What's your game plan?
Ooh, well, our plan is expansion. We get calls constantly from Broward, Monroe, from across the country to see when Pink Pack's coming to their area. I said, hold on, we got to figure out South Florida first. Uh-huh. So we really want to try to expand further and further, and so that each county will have its own Pink Pack. So at 954,
love it.
What's Palm Beach
561.
So that we can just keep moving across the country and really expand our reach. You know, these are services that everyone can benefit from. And so we really want to be able to bring this to each community in need, but we need partners in each of those communities to make it happen. So little by little, we'll get there. But right now, we're still in Miami-Dade.
Love that. Love that. Love the expansion. Love the goal. And hopefully we can be a part of that and making you, helping you realize that, because it's a beautiful mission and vision. And I think it's one that everyone, I think anyone within all these different counties can benefit from. What kind of team, when you provide these services, how much of it is volunteer? Because I imagine you have to vet individuals. And one of the questions what we got was, how do you provide those services, and also make sure that, obviously the individuals that are providing it, so be it car service, do you partner with Uber? What are some of the ways that you logistically carry that out?
Yes, so our transportation program is through a rideshare company. Logistic-wise, it's a little bit challenging to have volunteers do all of that, as well as background checking and the insurance that we would have to carry to be able to support a volunteer program for that service specifically. So we work with a rideshare company. At any given day, we'll have 30, 40 women out at appointments, so it'd be a little bit tough to have drivers around the entire city like that. So we work with rideshare groups. For our housekeeping services, we have companies, local small business, women-owned businesses that we make sure are insured and provide background checks for all of their employees. Same with the babysitting companies. And then for school transportation, it's really up to the parents. Each school has their own approved vendors, and so we'll have them choose the vendor and we'll contract directly with them. For our self-care,
administrative,
just a bit, and we're a staff of 2, so you can only imagine. But as much as possible, we try to use our volunteers to deliver our care packages, because when they deliver that care package, they're one more person that our members can interact with. So many of these women just go from the hospital to their house and have no social interaction whatsoever. So that gives them some time to just sit and chat with someone who'll go through their care package with them. That person will also help them fill out financial aid applications if we can't assist them directly. But those folks who do volunteer in that sense, which is one-on-one with our members, they do go through a background screening process to make sure that everything is clear, because these are women who are vulnerable. You're going to be in their homes. We want to make sure that we're putting someone safe in contact with them.
The community too. I mean, we both know a lot of the same individuals, because especially, like Cindy Papal-Hammontree, who's written 5 books, Debbie Sichuan, who was actually the one who connected the 2 of us. I mean,
incredible ladies.
Yeah, it's like 9 degrees or, of separation, because everyone knows everyone.
Miami's very small.
The community. But I know that whenever we've had someone, I mean, a lot of times we'll get the call and say, who do you know? And I'm like, who don't we know? Yeah. Let's put you in contact. Now we have you to add to that. Lastly, let's talk about this beautiful pink pack kit that you put together and that you give.
Yes. So this package is really full of items that are helpful to combat the side effects of treatment. And it contains everything that I was given when I was first diagnosed by Suzette. And when we look at it, it's not that it's items that are that costly or that difficult to get. But when you're going through it, to try to get down to Walgreens or CVS to go pick up a bottle of biotin can be an impossible task. So in this bag, you have biotin that will help prevent mouth sores, which when you get them, they're absolutely awful through treatment. We have creams to help with your skin dryness, eye drops to help with the eye dryness, candies that help with nausea. We have port pillows that volunteers make, because when you get your chemo port in, it sits right here on your clavicle, just where your seatbelt happens to sit. And so when I was going through treatment, I didn't have a port pillow and I was driving around with my seatbelt, out here. So you put that on your seatbelt and then it's a cushion. And those are made by hand by our volunteers. If you're going through a mastectomy, we have mastectomy pillows also in the bag, also made by volunteers.
Beautiful.
And so even for your business, if this is something that you'd be interested in participating in, if you want to have a session with your employees and put these packs together or make these pillows, we can come and make that happen.
Thank you so much. Thank you for being on Spotlight, and thank you. And we're very grateful to community newspapers for partnering with us, and the producers here who help you bring Spotlight TV every week. See you on the pink carpet, and see you next week on Spotlight TV. Thank you.